Hey, how you doing? Uh, I'm pretty new to this YouTube thing, but I just wanted to make a video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how hard it could be to find a job when you get out of college. I recently graduated college. I finished college about it's this is March 16th or whatever today is, and I finished in January. So I just finished school not too long ago, and I have not been hired by anyone. I wouldn't say that I went to the best school, but I mean, most of my classes were online and everything. And I had a technical degree. My major was computer science. So, I'm not going to say I was the best student either. I might have cheated a couple of times, whatever. Wasn't the most studious. So, even though I, didn't always study the hardest or whatever, I still managed to finish school with a 3 point above a 3.0. So now that I'm done, I started out applying to jobs, and I was surprised I actually got interviews. So I've probably been on about 5 or 6 interviews. But the thing about having a tech major like computer science, they give you tests when you get on the interview. So if you fail the test, you pretty much already know that you're not going to get the job, pretty much. So I've been on interviews when I failed the test. Actually, I don't think I've ever really passed a test. So there was one job recently where they had a take-home test, so they emailed me the test, and it wasn't timed or anything. I took the test, sent it back to them, went in for an interview, and they still said that they selected someone who had more experience. So they say they selected someone who had more experience, but they were willing to work at my level, at junior level. So, you know, so they got the job. I didn't. And there was another job that I went on. It was a three-step interview process, three-step process. And the first part was a phone interview. Then I had to write an essay, and then I had to go in person. So I did all 3 steps, and they haven't got back to me yet. Apparently, they're still making their decision, but that program doesn't start until June. So even if I got the position, I wouldn't be starting the position until June. So I guess there's not any real rush for them to get back to me right now. But of course, I was a little disappointed that I didn't get the job where I said I went to the interview and they chose somebody with more experience. There were a couple other jobs that I did get offers for, but I didn't take them because they were kind of like they wanted me to sign a 2-year contract. The pay was low for the field that I'm in, and I had to be willing to relocate. And on top of that, before I got started making my salary, I had to go through training. And one job, it was 17 weeks of training, which is very, very long when you think about it. And during that period, they pay you minimum wage. And then there was another one where it's 3 months of training, and it wasn't too far from where I'm at. But during the training, they only give you a stipend, a weekly stipend, and it's not much, like $150 a week. So it's really not that great. And then that's for 3 months. And then after that, I have to sign a 2-year contract, and I have to get paid the amount that they were offering me, which wasn't fantastic. It's not that great. Actually, yeah, it was about 50 grand. So if they were offering me 50 grand, I know that's not a horrible amount of money, to get, especially when you just graduate. But somebody was just telling me about someone in my major who actually got an offer of 90,000. So, it's just, and a couple of jobs that I went on, like the one that I said hadn't got back to me yet, and I had to write an essay. That one pays more than 50. So a lot of them pay more. So it was kind of like I have to go do 3 months for training, then I have to sign a 2 year contract, then I have to. So it was just I didn't want to deal with it. So I've slowed down on applying to jobs. I For some reason, and it's kind of hard to find jobs that are 100% entry level. Like I said, I'm not that experienced. Um, I'm really just trying to get a job. So it's just but there was this one job that I went on, and they were the only one who really had a test where I could sit down in front of the computer and take the test. A lot of times the tests are pen and paper, pencil and paper. So, and everybody there seemed professional. They paid for my parking, even though I went on the interview. They actually paid for my parking, um, and everybody was professional and nice. And I went there, and once I left, I felt like even if I don't get the job, I still feel like it was a good experience. I don't know why. I just felt like it was a good experience. They didn't seem shady or anything like that. A lot of these jobs, it's just like once you fail the test, it's just like get out. They don't want to see you or talk to you or anything. So, so, um, I didn't finish their test, but even after that, they actually called me in for a second interview, and I wasn't supposed to get a second interview. So it was like they said, okay, we'll let you know by the end of March. That's when you'll hear from us. And then the next week they called me in for a second interview. So I went back in. I spoke to the guy and everything, and he asked me a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff I told him I probably should not have told him, but I do try to always tell the truth. Um, like he asked me if I did well in high school, and X and O. He asked me a lot of stuff, but I was pretty much telling the truth. So, whether I was supposed to, whether or not that helped me or not, I don't know. But once I left, I felt like I stood a chance, but I still haven't heard from them, and that was probably about 3 weeks ago. So I don't know, but it hasn't been. The end of March hasn't passed yet, so I guess we'll just have to see what happens, and if not, then who knows. So, I have to keep applying to jobs. Right now, I'm actually studying up, trying to get my skills, get my knowledge a little bit better because I obviously miss some of the stuff that I learned in school. So I'm trying to study while at the same time I put in a couple applications at some places, and I'm just gonna have to keep applying. I'm still waiting. I still have the job that I had to write an essay for that starts in June, and the one that I just told you about that went well. I still have those two that I'm waiting on. So at this point, it's just those two, um, and I'm waiting on those. As far as the me graduating and looking for a job, uh, right now I work in retail, food, retail, grocery, and of course, as always when working in retail or um, jobs like that, when you're working in a store or something like that, you got to deal with the management and the difficulties with that, and the pay is low, and you don't really want to be there all the time or at all, really. You know what I'm saying? So you really want to get out of there. So I've been trying to do that. There was a job, but I won't get into that. There was this other job from like a year ago that finally came around. So about 1 year ago, they offered to me, maybe a little bit over 1 year, but I had to go through this long process. So the process is over, and I don't know what's going to happen with these jobs, so I accepted the position. So I'm supposed to be starting a position soon, even though we haven't come up with a final start date. So I'm working on that. But I think I don't even know what I really want to say. I just wanted to, that's where I'm at, basically. I just graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer science about a month and a half ago. January, February, March. A month and a half ago, something like that. And I'm trying. But I'm pretty happy that I did get the chance to go on the interviews that I did go on. You know, I mean, I could have not have gone to school. Then everything would have been totally different for me, even at this point. You know, it would have been harder. So I'll just keep you guys up to date and see how things goes with my job search, and hopefully I stumble upon something. Please subscribe so I can know to keep making videos. And thank you. And my name is David. So I'll speak with you guys later. Bye.